I think sometimes people don't allow themselves to hear what they need to hear because they want to keep attracting in information that validates where they're at in life. And that's fine as long as they're okay with where they're at in life. Because people who are like us, we want to be with Source and have a desire to make our will become one, to be more connected, that requires more of us. That's more discipline required. So we have to be willing to do the work, do the disciplined work in order to obtain what it is that we're desiring, but only because we're asking for it. If I didn't ask for more, I would be fine. I can validate my choices where I'm at, and everyone could tell me I'm doing great where I'm at, but because I know that I have more potential on my life, that God has more for me, more is required of me. So I'm gonna have to keep being reflected of where I'm not showing up, being triggered, being whatever, so that I can continue to elevate, which means discipline, doing the things I don't want to do, even though people are like, well, you're gonna love doing it. No, some days I don't love going to the gym and working out. That's not why I do it. I do it because it's the discipline that I know that I need to have in order to become the version.
True.
Yeah.
And that's so important. And one thing we do have to realize is that, you know, when it comes down to that resistance that you feel, is that you have to make a firm decision on what you want and realize what you're asking for. When you go to Source and you're asking for help for the mental confusion and the mental chaos, when you're asking for help for the emotional chaos and the emotional imbalance, when you're asking for help for your physical illnesses, when you're asking to hear God and have a deeper spiritual connection, then you have to also be willing to incorporate the disciplines that start to appear in your reality. Because I promise you, if you ask for it, it's going to start to give you messages, and it's going to come in the form of people, it's going to come in the form of your social media, it's going to come in all. If you ask for it, the information is going to come.
Yes.
But then your actions to apply those disciplines and be consistent is what's going to determine your overall frequency. Remember that we're not telling anybody to do anything. You don't see, and don't get out of these word traps. It's like, well, I don't have to. No one has to do anything. But if you want certain results, then you have to do certain things. You know, you don't have to be a good football player, but if you want to be one, then there's certain techniques, certain exercises, and certain things that go with that.
Disciplines and consistencies that go with it.
They go with that. You don't have to be a higher ascended being, a spiritual being that's more conscious, that's has a higher intellect, that shine, that they're shining in mentally, they're shining physically, they're shining spiritually, and they're creating amazing things, and they're showing love into the world, and they're helping grow the reality. That's not something you have to do. But if you want to do those things, it's going to take certain disciplines to get to that level. You know,
it's the way I want to picture that, an image to it, is like you can sit in the shallow end of the pool. You don't have to go deep in the deep end. You don't have to go swim in the ocean. Because we have free will. So you can just choose to sit in the kiddie pool, in the small end, shallow end of the pool your entire life. Only because you want to go dive deep into the ocean, there's going to be stuff that's required of you in order to get to there. And people who have done it, those are the people who are leading or guiding others who are willing to do the work in the disciplines and consistencies.
And if you want the treasures, if you want the rewards, if you want the accomplishment, and you want the I guess I could say, well, what would be a good word to say, like the attention and the respect of Source, then you're going to have to do the work that is required to get those awards. There's a reward for every lifestyle you live. And it comes with its challenges. For every lifestyle you live, there are challenges, there are rewards, there are benefits, and if you want the highest benefits and the greatest rewards that life has to offer, then you're going to have to be the greatest vessel. You see,
like the greatest love. You want that great love story, but you're going to attract from the level of that which you're at. If you want someone, a man or a woman who is, she's great, she's the woman of your dreams, but you're not that version. You haven't aligned yourself. You're attracting from where you're at right now, frequency wise. So you're going to attract in someone who might not be there because you're not there yet within yourself. So it's like when you want that great love story, or you want those great friendships and unions, but you're not aligned with the frequency of it, you get what you put in. You literally get what you put in.
Life is, like I say, mathematics. It's 100%. Whatever the energy you put out is what you're going to receive.
Yeah.
You see, so and that's what you're magnetically attracted to yourself. One of the things I do want to touch on, we were talking about, magnetic fields, is that you are an electromagnetic energy being, or you are an electromagnetic God particle.
Yeah.
As this electromagnetic God particle, one thing about it is that you're going to create a field that attracts or repel your circumstances, your events, the people that come into your life, and your overall experience. You see?
Yeah.
And so as you begin to incorporate things that match the frequency of high vitality, you see, so a high vital energy, and being in harmony with nature and harmony with life, then you're going to attract people that are high vital energy with a high frequency that are connected to life. You're going to attract events. You're going to attract situations. What you create is going to be rewarded by life, because people are going to love from whatever comes from you is going to have that same energy. You see, and it's going to continue to attract and manifest based on the energy on the energy fingerprint that you put out. And this is why it's important that you incorporate it into every area of your life possible, so that you're always in a state to attracting everything that serves your highest good, which is your highest growth and your vitality, and repelling the things that don't serve your vitality, that don't serve your highest expression.
Things can't even get close to you. That aren't even, they literally repel. Like, people want to get away from you that aren't able to meet you.
They damn near run.
They literally run. It's like you have to resonate at a high frequency, though, consistently, by staying in elevated emotions within yourself. It's like finding the peace and joy and resting in those emotions, not letting yourself fall into low frequencies. You can fall, because we're gonna fall, but you don't stay down. You don't stay where you're not meant to be. You don't stay in anger or hatred or fear or self-loathing or shame. Or you might pass through it. Like, you might go visit your friend, your neighbor, but your home is in joy. It's in peace. You know that that's what you're meant to attract in, so you won't settle for any other circumstances when you're reflected in relationships and unions. You're like, if it's not bringing you peace, that's not attracting, that's not where your level of attraction is, so you won't stay there, because that's not in resonance with your being. You're used to things working out for you when you attract in from a high place. It's like things all work in accordance for you, and you feel a sense of joy and peace within your vessel. So if, like, I don't feel that when I'm with certain people and relationships, I know that I'm not meant to stay there. And that's our knowing, our what is the word where we have to discern. We have to use our discernment to know, like, that's not matching my frequency. That's actually taking me out of alignment with who I truly am, who I be, and my highest frequency. So we have to let go of energies, because sometimes, even though we repulse, there's something that draws us to our old self, which is the lower frequencies of, like, toxicity, because we all have been addicted to fear or shame or guilt who have been through trauma. Like, at a point, I was addicted to emotions that kept me looping into low frequencies. So sometimes when I'm faced with, like, let's say for me, like, men will come in who are not vibrating at a high frequency, and I'm like, oh, what's over there? But I don't stay there. But that's because I use my discernment to understand that's not supportive to my growth. That's not aligned with me. But I have to go and I have to experience it. It's not that we don't experience low vibrational things. You're still gonna go through it.
As a high frequency being, you're definitely going to experience low vibration, because high frequency means that you're balanced in all vibrations. Remember that. The high frequencies contain the vibration of all the all the frequencies below it. So you will experience these frequencies, but how you handle it is now different, and how it manifests into your life is different. How long it stays is different. You see, the lessons you learn and how quick you learn them is different. You see, and you start to use, and everything becomes to your benefit. Instead of a lower frequency, bringing calamity to your life and confusion, you understand why it's there. You're able to learn from it, and it ends up benefiting you. You see, and so.
And you can dip in low frequencies without it harming you.
Yes.
When you are in balance. Like, I can eat cooked food once in a while, because I eat raw, but I can do it once in a while, and it doesn't, I don't believe, affects me.
Because it's not your
in, like, music, I can listen to a song that has rap, like a couple songs, but it's not going to affect me. I can dibble, but it doesn't
Your
affects
frequency
me.
and what she's saying is like your frequency is what you do consistently. You see,
Yes.
consistency is what makes your frequency. So of course you might stumble, you may slip, you might have like little cheat days, but that's not your consistent frequency. When the cheat day becomes every day, then that becomes your frequency, and that's what you start to express as. You see, and so and the thing that's so important is that when it comes down to how you magnetically attract things into your life, you have to make sure that it's an everyday practice. You see, if it's not an everyday practice, if it's not a part of your lifestyle, then it doesn't hold enough weight. It doesn't hold enough value into your reality, and you're never going to benefit from it. This is why you'll see people, they might detox a month from the phone, from the food, from the music or whatever, and they feel good that month, but then they right back to the other lifestyle, and they only seen that month like as like a highlight of their life, instead of it being something that's more residual. If I give you a mango seed or a coconut, you know it's going to produce coconuts. Now when you plant that coconut, you're not going to see the coconuts produce, but you know that it's going to produce coconuts. So it's like this. So every single discipline that you implement, into your daily routine, each one of those is like a seed. And when you plant that seed into your life, it must be nourished daily to see the fruit. If you stop,
in our words, in our thoughts, are nourishing it. If you stop watering
the seeds, the disciplines, then the plant, you're never going to see the fruit from it. You might see it sprout into your life for a second, but then it dies off. You're literally, every discipline and everything in your life is just like a seed, and it's just like a plant. If you don't continue to nourish it, it will fall right back to the ground. You see?
Wow, it's such a good analogy. And how we water it is with our affirmations of it. We have to affirm it daily. If you start to not believe in the seeds that you're planting, what is belief without faith? Like, if you don't have faith in what it is that you're planting, if you don't believe in it, it's not gonna survive. You have to give it the affirmation with your words and your thoughts and your ideas. You have to keep nourishing.
Faith is an action, and that's what people understand, is that faith, I mean to interrupt you, but faith is an action. When you plant that seed, that's your will. I want to do this. I'm gonna plant this seed. Boom. Now I have faith that it's gonna grow. But if you don't do it, if you just have faith
without works
action,
is dead.
Faith without works is dead. That seed ain't doing nothing. You see?
Yes.
And if it do something, it's because everything else around it helped that seed. But it needs something. You see?
Faith without works is dead. It's so good.
And so your willpower, that's the seed planted. Now your actions is what's going to decide how that fruit and how that seed blooms
manifest,
and how it manifests into reality. You see, and this is where the daily disciplines come in. So your willpower, boom, I want to get my emotions together, I want to get my body together, I want to be a better spirit, more connected. And now I got these actions I need to take. Okay, I need to get in nature today. I ain't going to nature. I ain't been in nature all week. I need to make sure I eat some raw food. I need to fast. I've been eating junk all week. You gotta start implementing the things that's going to water that seed. And then also know which things are going to destroy that seed or not provide nourishment. You see,
the things that it's going to have to compete for. Because just like nature, if you plant two trees next to each other, they're going to have to try and compete. So if you're planting a seed, but you're also planting another seed that contradicts that idea, you're going to have to try and compete. And whatever one you water more is going to win. In nature, that's how nature works. And like you said, we don't want to say we're better, and but nature's always competing, and so it does come down to what you're feeding more within. And I love what you said, because it's like God gives us the idea and we get this boost of motivation. When we get an idea, that's God's will within us. It's like God is giving us the idea. And many people take an idea and they put it in their notes like, oh, I'll do it later, I'll get to that idea later. But when you get that boost of inspiration and you don't act on it, that's God giving you your next alignment. It's like, here's this idea, and you get that inspiration, and when you act on it, you plant it, right? But you have to do the actions, like you're saying, to nourish that in which you're planting. So it's like when I get an idea from spirit, like to do this, it's like taking the actions necessary to see it through until it happens, because it's an idea until I manifest it. It's like it's only up here, and if I don't act on it, then God won't give me more, because God's only going to give us what we're willing to act on. So if God gives me ideas and I keep acting on the inspiration, I get more inspiration to keep acting from the space of creativity. But many people die off in their creative energy because they don't act on the inspiration and the ideas that they're given. So it's like when you get an idea to do something and you're not acting on it, your creativity, you block it. You block your creativity, because when you're inspired to create and you don't create, immediately it's like that's where you get stuck, and that's the emotion, the energy body that in the cells gets stuck, and you're not moving it, which is the resistance, because we're not acting on the ideas. Oof.
And it's so important that, you know, one thing you got to understand is that, you know, I was talking with somebody the other day, and, you know, a lot of time I deal with people, and because of my consciousness, they can easily feel used. And what I tell people is that I am using you, and life is using you, because you have to be. See, the problem is being resistant to the truth. Is that we're all being used by life, by God, and your actions are determining how God sees you can be used. So your actions are your submission and your application to say that, hey, God, you can use me for this. So if you live in a toxic lifestyle, then God's like, you know, being that God is chaos and order, light and dark, negative and positive. It's like, okay, so I can't use you on the children of light spectrum. I can use you for some dark things. And that what you can be used for is going to come with a reality. It's going to come with trauma. It's going to come with emotions. All of it, whatever you can be used for, comes with a mindset. It comes with emotions, and it comes with actions. It comes with a body. It comes with a reality.
Yes.
So if you don't like the reality that you're being used for, this is why you have to make the change. Now, if you're happy with the toxicity, you're happy, maybe you're being used for that purpose, and you will need it to help one of the children of light, because a lot of times us children of light or us higher beings, we're learning from that negative experience, and it was needed. So if you're living your purpose and you're needed to help the chosen grow, then much power to you. And if you're higher conscious and you know this, then it'll even go better for you. But if you know, if you're unhappy, if you're not happy mentally, emotionally, physically, or spiritually, then that means that who you truly are is not matching the reality, and you have to make changes. Yeah,
it's the potential.
You see?
Like God will use us based on our actions. It's creating the potential that God, the place that God will put us in with our potential. We have great potential to be in, but we have different levels of potential depending on our level of discipline that we're willing. And which is
how
like
much you surrender, how much you submit, and your disciplines it shows God's with your action. You remember that, see, in school, you see, this is how it works. In school, to pass a test, all you got to do is remember the answers. And life is different. Life don't know you know the answers until you show you know in life. See, in school, you can pass until you can get an A on every test if you can just remember the answers. You don't have to apply those answers. You don't have to apply that wisdom. So a lot of people can be book smart, or they seem intelligent, because all you got to do is remember it. You don't have to apply it. But when it comes down to the workings of God, when it comes down to life, when it comes down to how life rewards you, you know, it's going to be based on your actions, because that's the only way life know you low. No, so, you know, you won't keep repeating these lessons at school. If you pass a test, you ain't got to repeat that test no more. But in life, it's going to keep, it's like you keep telling life you know, but life keep like, why keep giving the same test? I know the answer to this test. Life was like, you got to show you know out here. You can't just know the answer. You got to show that you know the answer, and then that shows that passes you to the next gate, to the next classroom with the Most High.
Yeah, it's such a good image. The showing you know to me is embodiment. When you embody it, and you have to fully embody it to be even go into the next level. Fully, you must embody whatever it is that you're learning, like your lesson. And once you take it, when you embody it, you can then teach from that space. And not even teach, I just want to say more guide. So we all do get put in positions, different levels of positions. Some are in higher positions than you because of their willingness to submit, surrender, trust, all of the things that are revealing to God our level of faith, our level of belief within self, within oneself. And you can't be put in a high position without fully embodying and faith, without the belief, embodying all the things that you've been put through and believing that it is true for you, which creates delusion. You do have to be delusional in your faith within yourself to continue to be put in high positions.
And that's how it works with the Supreme, with life, with God, with Source, whatever you want to call it. Is that there are positions to be filled, and on how you can serve life. But the thing with life is your application is your frequency, and certain positions you can only feel that position, or that position is only available to you based on a certain frequency. So if you're not at a frequency, you don't even know that position exists. It doesn't even never come into your reality.
Damn, that's good.
You see, you don't know certain things and certain modalities. You know, when we start talking about Reiki and healing people with your hands and connecting and moving the elements and all these magical things, is that a lot of people, it doesn't make sense to you because that position is not available based on your frequency. Because everybody on their frequency, it starts to make sense, and they start to strive towards these things. And so, you know, the positions that are available to you are based on the
frequency, your level of frequency,
your vibration, your frequency. And as you raise your frequency, you start to be these doors, and it's like, oh, I can do this. Oh, this idea. Oh, I can do this with my art. Oh, I can put this in all these new positions, and then new people start. You know, certain people are only available to you.
Yes.
So you're only going to meet the people that you know right now. You only know them based on your frequency. Once you change frequency, there are going to be new groups, and I promise you, like that spirit that you love, like sometimes you have a toxic relationship with somebody, but you love them because you love their spirit. But what life does is that same spirit would be there, that same core spirit would be there in another person on a frequency that can match you. So you'll see this person, you be like, man, you remind me of such and such, but you like the positive version of him. It's like you like them, but what they would have been if they would have did the work.
Damn.
It's like I've met people like this. It's
no,
crazy.
Truly, same. Like this. I'm like you remind. You're like the spirit of someone I know for sure.
But you like if they would have did something different, that would have been you.
Damn.
Like, I can see it's
based on our choices, and it's crazy because it's like when we're shifting our frequency, right? But we resist the growth, and we want to cling on to our old people that we know, our old friends, our old opportunities, the old jobs and stuff. We really go against up leveling into because of our scarcity of like, oh, they're not going to be more or whatever. But once you shut the door to what you know, you go into the unknown, and there's like a whole nother playing game, level game of like all possibilities that are endless for you, and you keep rising. But yet people that knew you at that level of frequency that you were at, they will hold you to that version. And some people truly can't. They truly, like, there are some people that are holding you back from truly becoming everything. And I truly believe that based on frequency, based on who we still, and what we cling to in the lower frequency, like what we cling to, it really is, can be detrimental to our well-being, like to our like you want people who can truly see that, like people who are truly there for you, support you, uplift you, like they see your greatness and they're like there to support it. It's rare. It's so rare. You have to let people go.
And it's supposed to be. And I appreciate the discipline and the work that it takes, because it keeps the parasite. It keeps the corruption out. You see, because the thing about it is that in order to be on this level, in order to be in this classroom, in order to be on this type of stage, in order to be on this dimension of thought, then you have to do the work. So it prevents, like, you don't have to worry about, when you get to a certain frequency, you don't have to worry about corrupted things coming your way, because they can't match the frequency of the lifestyle or discipline to get to where you would be at, to be to where you would be at, to hang out with you. They're not even gonna feel comfortable. You playing meditation music, you eating fruit, they want to have pizza, they want to listen to such and such, they want to go do, you know, so it's like, it's not gonna match the frequency. They're gonna be pulled to wherever they're supposed to be pulled to, and it's not gonna be you. You see, and one of the important things he said is that you have to consistently be willing to dive into the unknown, because the known is what got you where you at.
It's the ego that's keeping you safe. The ego that's like, this is what you know, this is going to keep you playing safe, I don't want you to get hurt. The ego's like, I'm going to protect you, so if you just stay here, you won't get hurt here. We know what's going on here. But when you let go of what you know, that's like, you have to break out. The ego death, that's the ego death, where it has to die to everything that you think you know about yourself, about your friends, about everything, to then step into the unknown and see more from a different perception of,
that's the only way to truly get.
I thought I was that, but I'm more.
That's the only way to truly get more, because what you know has already manifested to your reality. Everything you have right now, your reality that you know of, is created based on what you know. So for the things that you don't have that you want, you have to deep into the unknown, because if you knew it, you would have it. You see? So in order to grab that consciousness, those disciplines, those routines, you have to go into that unknown and be willing to, and this is why I say you got to stay empty, and you got to come with an empty vessel, and you got to clear your mind. You got to be willing to relearn everything all the time. You got to be in a constant state of reprogramming, relearning, because you're always tapping into the unknown to make it known. And once it becomes known, it becomes a part of your reality. You integrate that, and then when you want more, you go back and you tap again into the unknown.
And you do that based on what you see is possible. You see people on that level. Like, and when you get that idea of someone on that level of consciousness, it first comes as an idea that's planted into you, and that gives you the I know it exists. So it's not a delusion. It's like, I've seen that level of consciousness exist,
reality,
so I can reach it. But that idea will first come to you in an idea as planted of based on what I see is possible, the friends, the love that I know is possible, and then that is like what generates the inspiration for you to obtain that level. And to those who are around you might all not believe or not see that, you know, like you're given the vision because it's your divine, it's your path that you're meant to take to keep doing the work and to keep going. So it's like, if other people can't see the vision, it's not because it's not true. It's just like you're given the idea, the vision within, because you're meant to fulfill it. So when I think I see people in other levels of consciousness, I'm like, it's a vision for me to be able to obtain. I know that it's possible for me to continue to become like Jesus. That's like Jesus. I know it's possible. I believe fully that it is possible because I've seen an example of it. Like, and Jesus is the example for me of what is possible as a human being. And we are meant to do more than Jesus. So for me, I'm like, there are levels of consciousness that we haven't even accessed as the collective right now. Yeah.
It's been amazing. Amazing podcast.
You're fucking amazing. You're amazing. We're gonna have to do more of these for real. Because
we were just talking about, it's a frequency match, you see.
Yeah.
And this is and conversations like this can happen anytime, you know, you run into people that match your frequency.
Yeah.
And y'all share that consciousness, but you create this portal of information. And so it's just a portal of breath, a portal of information, and the breath is communicating and flowing through us. And that's what happens is that, you know, we set this type of environment on purpose. Both of us are grounded to the ground. We're outside, we're surrounded by trees. So you're not just talking to us, you're talking to the trees that surround us. You're talking to the planet that we're connected to. The ocean is coming through. So all the energy of life is coming through and projecting, and it's projecting in a language that you can understand. And this is why the human body is being used, because you're having a hard time hearing the trees, you're having a hard time hearing the ocean, you're having a hard time hearing God through the elements. And so the elements need willing vessels and clear vessels to be able to communicate what life is trying to say to you. This is not my consciousness, not my word. I'm sharing the consciousness of the one and allowing him to speak through me.
He's on day 25 fast, y'all. Send love. What is the fast? Only fruit? Raw?
Yeah, smoothies basically, liquid.
Damn.
Something like a liquid fast. Just
liquid and mushrooms.
Yeah, liquid things.
Thank you guys. So much love.
Much love, peace,
much
power, love, prosperity.
Until next time.
To you all.
Blessing.